What do you think about Petra being the original Mecca? Why don't you make an entire podcast about it, or at least comment while watching Dan's documentary? The problem is that Dan is not himself a scholar, right? Dan Gibson, what was that his last name, right? And what he says seems very compelling, but it's compelling to me, who is not a scholar, right? So when I watch it first, I'm like, oh my God, this seems like it's true. But then when I listen to other scholars, they seem to be not taking it that seriously. Actual scholars, and I'm not talking about Islamic scholars, I'm talking about secular scholars. It seems like they agree that the Mecca story is either not real, like Islam didn't start in Mecca, or even if it did, it's largely exaggerated. Like Mecca was not as major of a city as Islam make it seem like it was, and a lot of them agree. Like some of them agree that maybe it wasn't even there. Like this was not even a city. But where the characters of Muhammad, so one thing, why am I out of focus? Hello? Okay. One thing Dan Gibson does is that he seems to take Muhammad's stories too seriously, as if it happened. And then he's trying to say like where it happened. But we don't even know if these stories actually happened. We know that Muhammad is based on a character that is real, that united the Arabs and came out of Arabia and started attacking Jerusalem and other places, right? The Arabs eventually. But we don't know if his name was Muhammad. Maybe that was just his title. We kind of know now that his religion was not really Islam. Like Islam was like a later invention. His religion was something Abrahamic, but very unlike what we recognize as Islam today. But what Dan Gibson does is like he looks at the hadiths for proof of his claims as if these are real stories that actually happened there. It is also true that a lot of people think that if Muhammad's story is based on any real events, it probably happened somewhere close, much more north of Mecca. But for it to be Petra has not yet been established. Okay, for me to believe that, because we're not, guys, here's what you do when you're not a scholar yourself. Okay, we don't have the tools and the experience to investigate these directly. The best we could do is see how many other serious scholars agree with this. I know this doesn't seem like a good method for you because it's an appeal to authority, right? But it's Occam's razor, right? Even if Dan Gibson, am I saying his last name correctly? Let's see. Am I worried if I'm like using a celebrity name instead? No, yes, I'm right. Dan Gibson. Even as Dan Gibson is right, and Muhammad's story was in Petra, not in Mecca, the safest thing for us as non-scholars to do is to use Occam's razor and be like, I will believe it when more scholars take it seriously. Okay? The main thing that Dan Gibson uses as evidence to suggest that the story of Muhammad happened in Petra rather than Mecca was the direction of the mosques, the mosques that were built within the first 100 years after the birth of Islam, the alleged birth of Islam, seem to be pointing towards Petra very accurately instead of Mecca. Okay, like I know it's more complicated than that's what it seems. The first time I watched the documentary, I was like, well, obviously then it's Petra. Like, how could it be anywhere else other than Petra? But apparently nobody else has yet repeated this examination. And some people think it's ludicrous to even suggest that the Mecca, the directions of the Qiblas in the mosques would have been that accurate anyways, because he seems to make it seem like they're so accurate. Like right now, when you're praying as a Muslim, right, you don't have to hit Mecca very accurately, right? And it's hard to imagine that the qiblas at that time, they were actually that accurate for them to be pinpointing towards Petra. So for us to take this claim seriously, even if it's true, I don't think we're in a position to take it seriously. It's interesting, and we should like keep it in the back of our mind. But you take it seriously when it's repeated, when multiple other people come after and repeat the same test and come up with the same conclusions. Then it will go from your maybe, I don't know, to like, oh wow, this is actually a serious scholarly suggestion right now. You can't just take it that seriously when only one person has said it and nobody else has confirmed it yet. Nobody serious has it confirmed. That's what you do as a non-scholar. This is how you put your beliefs in different boxes when you yourself are another expert. You use Occam's razor, right? Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, guys. Anything like this, we are not in a position ourselves to, for example, with the existence of Jesus, right? You guys are not archaeologists. You guys are not biblical scholars, right? But a lot of people have just like read a book or two and be like, okay, I think Jesus is real, or I think, oh, Jesus was not real, right? To me, I'm like, most non-religious secular scholars seem to be thinking that Jesus' story was based on a real character, right? I mean, I'm not a scholar myself. I mean, I still would be interested to see what the reasoning is. But again, if most experts believe this, it's more likely that one you have to put more weight in the likelihood of that being the true thing. You could still be wrong, but you will be wrong for the right reason. It's better to be wrong for the right reasons than right for the wrong reasons. I just made that up. I hope that makes sense.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.